What if I told you that one of the most beloved couples in gospel music today, a worship icon whose song has been sung in over 100 countries, is being systematically targeted by a coordinated campaign of lies? What if I told you that anonymous bloggers and faceless social media pages have been deliberately manufacturing a fake story about a marriage falling apart? A story so convincing that millions of fans believed it, shared it, and mourned it. And what if those same bloggers are now facing legal consequences? Today, we are setting the record straight, and we are telling the full story. Stay with me. For those who may be new here, let me give you a quick picture of who we are talking about. Sinach, born Osinachi Egbu on March 30th, 1972, in Nigeria. She is not just a gospel artist. She is a global phenomenon. A woman whose music has crossed denominational lines, crossed national borders, and crossed cultural barriers in a way that very few artists ever achieve in any genre. Her song Waymaker, yes, that song, has been recorded and performed by Leland, Michael W., Smith, Passion, and countless other artists worldwide. It has been sung in hospitals, in churches, in prisons, in living rooms during the darkest days of the COVID-19 pandemic. There are documented reports of it being sung in over 100 languages. That is not a small thing. That is a legacy. And it is a legacy built over more than 2 decades of faithful ministry at the Living Faith Church, Winners Chapel, in Lagos, Nigeria, where she served as a worship leader and minister. She is 53 years old as of today, turning 54 this March 30th. Not 56, not 57. The viral headlines circulating online have been deliberately inflating her age, which is one of many small but telling signs of the carelessness and dishonesty in those reports. And she is married, has been married for 11 years to Pastor Joe Egbu. Let's talk about what started circulating online, because you deserve to know exactly what was being said and why it was designed to fool you. Starting in late 2024 and escalating through early 2025, a wave of posts began appearing across platforms. The headlines were dramatic, sensational. They claimed that Pastor Joe Egbu had broken his silence to confirm her marriage breakdown. They claimed Sinach had allegedly said something along the lines of, "Prayer is walking away," framing it as a coded admission that her marriage was ending. Posts used an image of Sinach looking reflective or emotional, completely stripped of its original context, to sell the narrative of a woman in crisis. Some posts listed her age as 56, which is factually incorrect. She was born in 1972. That is not a trivial error. That is a fabrication. And fabrications like that are a red flag. They tell you that the people creating this content were not doing journalism, they were doing manipulation. The goal of these posts was simple: clicks, engagement, revenue. The vehicle they chose to get there was the reputation of a woman who has spent her entire adult life serving God and serving people through music. It is cynical, it is calculated, and it needs to be called out for exactly what it is. Now, here is where things got serious. And I want you to listen carefully to this part, because this is where the facts completely demolish the narrative. In late 2025, Sinach and Pastor Joe Egbu did not give interviews confirming a marriage crisis. They did not post cryptic messages about heartbreak. They did not go silent and let the rumors speak for themselves. They hired lawyers. Through their legal team at Thorax Associates, the couple issued official legal notices to the bloggers and social media pages that had been publishing what they described as malicious lies about their marriage. The notices demanded 2 things: public apologies and the removal of all defamatory content. Think about what that tells you. When a marriage is actually ending, couples do not typically coordinate legal strategy together. When a man has broken his silence to confirm rumors, he does not then join his wife in retaining counsel to fight those same rumors. The legal action is itself the statement. It says, "We are together, we are unified, and we are willing to fight to protect our name." That is not the behavior of a couple in crisis. That is the behavior of 2 people who have been wronged and are responding with clarity and resolve. Let's talk about what was actually happening in the lives of Sinach and Pastor Joe Egbu during the very same period these rumors were spreading. In June 2025, the couple celebrated their 11th wedding anniversary, 11 years. Not in secret, not quietly. They celebrated it as a milestone, and it was publicly noted within their community and ministry circles. In April 2025, Pastor Joe Egbu hosted a high-profile surprise birthday party for Sinach. A surprise party, one attended by several prominent gospel ministers. Now, I want you to think about the level of love, effort, and partnership that goes into organizing a surprise birthday celebration for your wife. You coordinate with her friends. You manage logistics. You make sure the people who matter to her are in the room. That is not what a fractured marriage looks like. That is what a thriving partnership looks like. And yet, despite all of this, the anniversary, the birthday party, the legal notices, the clickbait kept circulating. Because the internet has a long memory for drama and a very short memory for truth. Which is exactly why we are here today, to make sure the truth travels just as far as the lie did. Now, there is a real legal situation involving Sinach that we should talk about, because it is being deliberately confused with the marriage rumors, and the conflation appears intentional. A producer named Abel Oluwole has filed a Verdun 5 billion lawsuit against Sinach, 5 billion naira. This is not a small claim. And the subject of the lawsuit, the song Waymaker. This is an intellectual property and copyright dispute. It has nothing, I want to be very clear, absolutely nothing to do with Sinach's marriage, nothing to do with any personal relationship. Here is how disinformation works. You take a real legal story that generates legitimate headlines, a 10-5 billion lawsuit is newsworthy, and you blend it together with fabricated personal drama to create a fog of controversy. You let readers assume that where there is legal fire, there must be personal smoke. Do not fall for it. These are two entirely separate matters. One is a business and copyright dispute. The other is a manufactured lie about a woman's personal life. The Waymaker lawsuit deserves its own serious coverage, and we may do a deeper dive into that in a future episode, but it must never be used as a proxy to attack Sinach's character or her marriage. I want to zoom out for a moment, because this story is not just about Sinach and Pastor Joe Egbu. It is about something bigger. We are living in an era where the gap between a lie going viral and the truth catching up to it has never been wider. A fabricated headline with a dramatic image can reach 10 million people in 48 hours. A correction, if it comes at all, might reach 10,000. And the targets of these campaigns are not random. They tend to be people who carry cultural weight, people whose downfall would generate maximum engagement, gospel artists, pastors, public figures who have built their platform on values and integrity because the perceived hypocrisy is the clickbait. When we share unverified content, when we repost without questioning, we become part of that machinery. We become unwilling participants in the destruction of someone else's reputation, someone's marriage, someone's ministry. The standard we should hold is this: if you would not say it to their face with evidence in your hand, do not share it on your screen. Sinach has given the world Waymaker. She has given the world songs of worship that have carried grieving people through unimaginable loss. She and her husband are standing, and they are fighting back. The least we can do is get the story right. So let me close with this. As of March 2026, the facts are these. Sinach and Pastor Joe Egbu are married. They celebrated 11 years together in June 2025. Pastor Joe threw his wife a surprise birthday party in April 2025, surrounded by their community. Their legal team has issued formal notices demanding apologies and retractions from the outlets that spread lies about them. The claim that Pastor Joe broke his silence to confirm a marriage crash, false. Claim that Sinach admitted prayer is walking away as a coded farewell to her marriage, misrepresented and taken out of context. The age, 56 inches, used in viral headlines, factually incorrect. She turns 54 this month. The Waymaker lawsuit, real, ongoing, and entirely separate from her marriage, deserving of serious, sober coverage on its own terms. And the marriage of Sinach and Pastor Joe Egbu, standing, legally defended, and stronger, it seems, than the forces trying to tear it down. If this video helped you understand the full picture, share it. Not because we need the views, but because the truth needs the same energy we gave the lie. If you have been following this story, drop a comment below and tell me what questions you still have. We will cover the Waymaker copyright lawsuit in depth in an upcoming episode. Subscribe so you do not miss it. And if you came here looking for drama, I hope instead you leave with something more valuable.